Okay. All right. So we're getting to the end of the primary season. Donald Trump has all but locked up the Republican nomination. There's still some stragglers out there saying that they're going to try to contest the Donald still blocking, but I think smart money is saying that's smart and mirrors that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for president. On the Democratic side, Hillary still has a little ways to go. Mathematically, Bernie Sanders can't win as far as delegates are concerned. Hillary can't win with just pledged delegates, but that's the way the Democrats have their thing set up. So it was going to take super delegates anyway. And right now, the super delegates are pledging their support to Hillary. But, Bernie Sanders folk and Bernie Sanders and a lot of people, if they're smart, want to kind of kick back a little bit and just see how the email thing is going to play out. My take on the email is, I'm not getting into whether or not she, endangered state secrets by having her own private server. We all know that there are not a whole lot of computer systems that are complete safe from hackers. Obamacare's, the Affordable Care Act's website was hacked. There was some other government system that was hacked. Target was hacked. Hackers are getting very diligent, and so they can hack, just about anything if they put their minds to it. Some places are harder than others, but I don't know if Hillary's, particularly if the people didn't know she actually had a personal server. I don't know necessarily that she endangered the country at all. My concern with Hillary is allowing the email thing to continue to fester on and to allow Donald Trump and others to use the email thing as part of a narrative that she's crooked. And I don't buy all that crooked stuff, but I do understand that perception can become reality. And I think she needs to do a little more to address it to the point where she can control it. She don't allow something like that to continue forward, thinking that it's going to work itself out, because a lot of times, or sometimes, it just doesn't. And so I can see, Bernie, wanting to sit back and say, hey, let's see how this play out before I say I'm not going to, that I'm going to drop out, because super delegates have to look to see how Hillary handles this thing, and before they truly make up their mind which way they want to go. Now, that being said, once the nominees are set officially, you have Bernie versus the Donald, or more likely Hillary versus the Donald, unless something happens. I don't think that anybody on the Democrat side should take Donald Trump lightly. But at the same time, I wouldn't run against the Donald like Jeb Bush ran against him, or Marco Rubio, or even Ted Cruz, where you allow Donald to sit back and just throw all these little insane attacks at you. Then you don't say anything because you don't want to go there. You say that's beneath you. Now, I wouldn't say get down in the dirt with Donald Trump, but he has to be dealt with. And to me, you deal with the Donald on his own terms, and not like Marco Rubio, where Marco decided he would get into this name-calling thing with the Donald. I don't think you want to play it that way, particularly when that's not your personality. I think when Marco Rubio started doing that, it looked desperate because he had been losing so much that it looked like an era of desperation when he started, kind of insulting Donald Trump like Donald Trump had insulted him and others. If I was, and I'm gonna give this a little advice, and because it's amazing to me sometimes how people just can't seem to figure this out. People who's supposed to know. If you're dealing with Donald Trump, it's one thing that Donald has shown, and that's he can't let any slight go without dealing with it, right? And so if that's the case, if I'm Hillary or Bernie, all right, whoever's going to run against the Donald Trump, have your surrogates, and I'm talking about some people who have a little status, right? Because the Donald will ignore certain folk, but when I say your surrogates, I say people who hold some type of office, some senators, even Deborah Wasserman Schultz or whatever her name is. If she's a DNA chair, you have Howard Dean, do it, your governor from Virginia, even though he looks like he might have some troubles of his own right now. But you have all these people come out and they attack Donald Trump. And the Donald, being the Donald, will spend a lot of time addressing each one of these, right? What's your girl, what's the senator, the one he's calling crazy, Elizabeth Warren. Have Elizabeth come out and say stuff. Vice President Joe Biden, at that point in time, can come out and say stuff. President Obama can say stuff. Have you spread a Donald so thin with all these people coming out saying stuff about him, right? And so Hillary, you can still, the Democratic nominee can still kind of stay above the fray and just really concentrate on what Donald Trump's policies positions are. So if you're Hillary, you don't get down into crooked Donald, crooked Hillary. You don't deal with that, but you don't let it go unannounced, unaddressed, right? You want to even pull Bill away from it. There's no need for Bill to get down in there. But all the other people, your senators, like I said, your Howard Deans, your former governors, you let all those people say something about Donald. Let them they can tweet something. They can Instagram something. They can go on all these little different talk shows and attack Donald. And the Donald will not let that go. He won't even let his people come in and say something. He feels that a personal attack should be attacked personally. So you let all those people come out, let them attack Donald on all these fronts, and then you, the candidate, just attack his policy positions. Talk in reference to that. Because this is what's going to happen. One, the Donald will attack each of all these other people. He will address all those issues. And then he will still just talk about Hillary in the email, crooked Hillary in the email, crooked Hillary in Benghazi, all those things that really do not have anything to do with policy. And what you're going to find is after a while, folk will see that the Donald is not talking specifics. And outside of the Republican chamber, right, some of the conservatives or the people who are so-called angry with the politics in America, for whatever reason, outside of that core group of people who the Donald can say anything and everything and they don't really care, the vast majority of Americans on the other side really want policy specifics. And with the Donald doing his school ground bullying and his school ground, I got to cross this line and all that kind of stuff that you've seen on the school ground, that's going to wear thin after a while. But that's how I would do Donald Trump. But you cannot let it go and don't even address it. Okay? And as far as Hillary, address the email thing, like go ahead and frame it however you want to frame it, but don't let others frame it for you. Because what happens when you don't say anything, and you might have said something before, but damn it, say it again. But you need to have a day where you say, you know what, I'm going to address the email thing. Build up to it. Don't say something like Hillary. I think what happens when she'll have a little talk here and she'll address it here, and it gets buried under, oh, Hillary sat down with Anderson Cooper, or Hillary sat down with Chuck Todd. And in the course of that sit down, she may address or may have addressed the email thing. What you do is you announce on a Tuesday that you're going to have a big news conference on Thursday talking about this email thing. So you have the meeting and everybody build up to it. So we know specifically that you're going to talk about the email thing. And so if you don't say anything new, say nothing new that day. But don't have flippant comments on it. There's nothing new in the report. That's not how you handle that. And I'm surprised that your people hadn't understood that. All right? Don't lose the cycle. That's how you get the news cycle back, Hillary. So I'm giving you this advice free. This is from a layman. I'm out here in the public. I'm the people. And the people are not listening to or watching your little sit downs with some of these people where you are addressing the email thing and then calling it done. Have your press secretary today, I'm going to say it one more time because this bears repeating. Have your press secretary announce to the media 2 days before this event happens that you are going to address this email thing once and for all. And even if you know that you are not going to say anything new, that don't matter, right? Because all the media are going to be there, right? And if all you say after you get everybody all down and you got the New York Times and the Washington Post, Fox News, everybody, after you have them there, say the same thing you said 4 or 5 months ago or last year, if that's all you got. But do it that way, all right? And the second thing I was talking about is having your surrogates attack Donald Trump all over. And Donald, my man, I know you think that me saying all this, or one of you might fall across this video someday and say, hey, that's not going to work against me. It is, man. You fully cooked. And what I mean by that, that's one of Judge Judy's things, man. She'll say somebody's fully cooked, which simply means that when you get to a certain age, sometimes you just can't help yourself. You are who you are. And you are somebody who cannot let any slight go, particularly if it's from somebody who holds even a little bit of status that you can respect, right? So if Hillary follows that advice, man, you're gonna cook your goose. Right? Don't say I didn't tell you. Peace.